Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 11 of Visions of Tomorrow, the review series for Gran Turismo's selection of VisionGT concept cars, some of which are most definitely better than others. Now, this car is actually the first VisionGT that we received as part of the VisionGT program. It's the Mercedes VisionGT by AMG. Now, there are two versions of this Mercedes AMG VisionGT car on the game. We have the standard VGT, which is going to be featured in this video, and we also have the Racing Series, or RS version, which will be featured in a different video. This is by far the superior of the two cars. There is no comparison, apart from the fact that it's literally half the price of the racing version. It also has the priceless advantage of full tuning capabilities. And the fact is, there are not many VisionGTs at all which are genuinely customizable and tunable. Even the racing version has hardly any upgrades that can be done to it. This car, though, is not only the original VGT, or technically the second if you consider the GT by Citroën to be the original, which is a fair statement to make. It's still one of the best. This Mercedes holds up extremely well. It was a day one release, if I remember correctly, with the game. You were given a free version of it at the start of the game, which many players exploited back in the day with a money glitch. But even now, the Mercedes VGT still holds up extremely well, not only as a supercar in its own right, but also as one of the best racing machines, especially for top-end performance, that Gran Turismo 6 has to offer. Now, it's powered by a relatively small capacity engine compared to what you'd expect from the look of the car. It looks like the kind of car that would have quite a large engine. It doesn't. It has a 5.5 litre turbocharged front-mounted engine. But that engine can produce just over 1100 horsepower and just over 900 foot-pounds of torque, 916 to be exact. It only weighs in at 1139 kilos, which is very lightweight to say the least, and it puts out 967 horsepower per tonne, which is probably a lot more than you would think, given the look of the car. It doesn't look like a particularly weight-efficient vehicle. It looks quite powerful and heavy, but it has a really good power-to-weight ratio. As far as the PP, it's reasonably high, but not necessarily as high as you might think. 678 PP is actually quite reasonable, given how quick this car is. Now, like most of the other VisionGTs, but ironically enough, not the racing version, this car has a price of 1 million credits, compared to 2 million for the RS. 1 million credits, apart from the fact that it's a VGT, is amazing value, because consider it against other supercars, rather than against other VGTs. Against other VGTs, it's fantastic, but even against other supercars, the value for money at 1 million credits is great. It can outrun most of the other supercars in the game, in terms of sheer straight-line acceleration and top speed. The mid-range acceleration is actually among the very quickest in the game. And the top speed is in excess of 295 miles per hour without NOS and without draft on a flat Special Stage Route X road. That is serious performance, but it can actually back that up. Now, the high-speed handling does have a tendency to become extremely heavy. That's very easy to fix though, as I've done with tunes for this car in the past. It's a very easy car to bring into line, a remarkably easy car to drive given the amount of power and torque that it has, and considering that it's not really a racing machine, it handles itself extremely well for what is essentially a drivable art piece. Overall, the VisionGT from Mercedes is still one of the best VGTs to go for if you don't own one. To be honest, I don't understand how you wouldn't own it, because everyone got it when you first bought the game, so the only way that you wouldn't have one anymore is if you chose to sell it, or get rid of it, I believe, as I don't think there was any monetary value attached to the car. Overall, it's a fantastic VGT, and this is one of those vehicles which, due to the fact that you can win it, like some other vehicles in the game, it does tend to be a vehicle that you can take for granted. A lot of people do seem to take this car for granted, because of the fact that you never have to actually buy it, because you win it, and because it's with you right from the very start of the game. It's very easy to take that car, as I said, for granted, and to forget about it, not to use it very much, to set it aside and just use other things instead. But if you bring out your VGT and give it a try on a variety of tracks, you'll probably be surprised, especially if you haven't driven it for a long time, just how good it still is. Now, when you fully tune it up to over 1100 horsepower, obviously it's still a slippery car around certain corners because it's got so much power and torque. But it still has to be said that it is a fantastic handling car. It copes with its power and its performance admirably, and it's a genuine Mercedes supercar. It's even quicker than the SLR McLaren, but cheaper than something like a Sauber C9 or a CLK LM. It may not be able to keep up with them around twisty circuits, but in a straight line, and on any track that allows more straight line performance to be used, the VGT from Mercedes is a formidable opponent. Add on the top of all of that it sounds pretty unique and looks fantastic, and that it's repaintable, which is not the case with some of the VGTs, and that's pretty cool. That's a pretty brilliant overall package, in fact, and it's a shame that other VGTs didn't follow that. But that's it overall for this review. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.